What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the TLZ podcast, where we sit down with elite athletes and professionals to break down the journey, the mindset, and what it really takes to compete at the highest level. As we always say here, when you train your mind, you change your game. Before we get started, if you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you hit that like button and the subscribe button down below. Show us support for the channel. It truly helps the channel grow. Also, don't forget to follow us on our socials at the TLZ podcast to stay up to date on upcoming guests and highlights. Now let's get into today's episode. Joining us today is one of the most inspiring young athletes representing Team USA on the international badminton stage. He is a world-class para-badminton player who has quickly established himself among the elite competitors in the world. Leading as an athlete with dwarfism, he has transformed personal challenges into competitive strengths while redefining what high performance looks like at the highest level of sport. Despite being just 20 years old, he has already built an extraordinary resume, highlighted by a silver medal at the Paris 2024 Paralympic Games, where he helped secure the first ever Paralympic badminton medal for the United States. At just 17 years old, he captured a silver medal in men's doubles at the 2022 Para Badminton World Championships, announcing himself on the global stage. He has since continued that momentum and now stands as the reigning world champion after winning men's singles title at the 2026 Para Badminton World Championships, cementing his place among the very best athletes in the sport today. Known for his tactical intelligence, competitive resilience, and versatility across events, his journey goes beyond results, offering insights into mindset, identity, and the pursuit of excellence at the highest level. Welcome to the podcast, Miles Krajewski.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thank you so much for coming on. It's a huge honor because we have on our very first world champion on the podcast. So this is a huge deal. And congratulations again, man, on
Thank you.
winning the world championships. How did it feel, man? Like finally be on top of the world, right?
It felt electric just because when I first came on, I was always losing like group stage matches. And then I still wanted to, instead of going and being a tourist, I was always just watching matches. And there were so many people that I admired on the para badminton stage, such as Jack Shepard, Didden, and there's just so many other athletes, Kristen Coombs, that I just admired watching and seeing them win world championships and wanting to become one someday. And then finally becoming one, it just felt extraordinary to finally accomplish one of my dreams that I wanted to do in para badminton.
Yeah, definitely. And it's absolutely insane because you're the first American to ever do it, right? Given how small, like as a minority sport, right?
Yeah.
And we see this photo that circles around on the internet of like the young Miles, right? And you can see the twinkle in the eyes, like whenever, you have the badminton bag on and you're walking on the court, right? So I think you definitely were able to achieve that dream already, right? Become a world champion. And we do want to like start from the childhood, from that young Miles. What was your childhood like growing up?
Growing up, it was just like any other childhood, pretty much. I was always playing different sports, whether it was baseball, basketball, soccer, golf, tennis. I was playing all those sports. And then in 2013, there's this thing called DAAA, which is Dwarf Athletic Association of America. And I went out to that in Lansing, Michigan. And it happened to be the World Dwarf Games. So dwarfs from all across the globe came to compete. And that's where I played badminton for the first time. And I loved it. And I watched Niall McVeigh play, he was the current world champion at the time. And it was just so amazing to watch him play. And I wanted to be just like him pretty much. And I played once after that in 2014 at the DAAA games in, where were they? I want to say not Boston. I can't remember where they were at, but I played in them 2014, and then 2015 they were in St. Louis. Played it. I loved it, and then found out it was going to be in the 2020 Paralympics. So I started training end of 2015, and ever since then I've just taken off.
That's crazy because in 2015 you were only 10 years old. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because for the people that don't know, Miles was born in 2005, right?
Yep.
So you were so young and you were already looking at the 2020 Olympics.
Yeah.
Like that's absolutely insane, right?
I want to be the youngest to compete. And that was kind of my big motivation, was not only achieving the Paralympics, but also wanting to be the youngest badminton player there. I felt like that would have been pretty awesome to do.
Yeah, definitely. And you were so close, right? For the 2020.
Yeah.
I remember you were just like one spot off. Right?
Yeah, I missed it by one spot, which was heartbreaking and devastating. It just made me push more for the 2024 games.
Yeah, definitely. And we're going to get into that in a little bit, but I do want to give everybody a little background. So, You do mention that you have dwarfism, right?
Yep.
So can you explain to everybody who may not be too familiar like, with it, like exactly what that means?
Yeah, so it's a genetic disorder which slows the bone growth, and there's over 200 different types of dwarfism. And if it's two average height parents, you have a like 1 in 25,000 chance of having a dwarf. But then if it's two dwarfs, you have a 75% chance it has dwarfism, and then 25% chance that it is average height. And then average height and a dwarf, it's pretty much 50-50. So I'm 1 in 25,000, I get to say.
Yeah, which also means you're super special, right? Like, and
Yeah.
it's yeah, it's definitely very unique. And but one thing about you that I noticed is that you have this light that kind of like comes out of you, right? Like this positive energy that you have. Have you always had that?
Yeah, I want to say I've always had it, and it truly comes out through sports just because I've grown up playing so many different sports with average height people that when I get to go play pair badminton, I get to play with other people that are just like me. So it's kind of exciting to go play with people that are just like me. But I think it's really helped that I've played with so many average height kids growing up that it's probably helped me a lot more on the badminton court than if I would have just played other dwarfs.
So you mentioned that being an athlete, right, helped you bring that light into the world. But do you think being a badminton player helped you build that confidence, especially when you were younger?
I would say it helped some, but also at the same time, competing and playing with other average height people also helped me build the confidence just because I felt normal doing sports and I was actually able to keep up with them. So I felt like that also helped me build confidence, along with having such great parents that always pushed me to be the best that I can. They've also helped build my confidence, I feel.
Yeah, definitely. We see how supportive your parents are, from all the social media posts, right?
Yeah.
I am curious, when did you come to the realization that you had the condition? Did your parents let you know like very early on, or you found out yourself?
Yeah. So they knew when I was still in the womb that I was gonna have dwarfism. But luckily that they just raised me as a normal kid. So I feel that through that, I had to persevere and figure out different ways to overcome obstacles. So I feel like that's helped me a lot. Whereas if they would have treated me differently, like that I had a disability, that I would have turned out to be someone completely different. So I thank them a lot that they just treated me like a normal kid.
Yeah, definitely. I think that support from parents means so much, right? To
Yeah.
any child, no matter what. And, I do wonder, like, when you started playing badminton, right, and you wanted to pursue it professionally at one point, how did your parents react to that?
Uh, they actually reacted positively. My parents they were both real good athletes in high school, and they've always taught us and told us that if you work hard for something and you want to pursue something, then we'll support you no matter what. As long as you are like grinding for it and working hard, then they have no problem supporting us, which is amazing.
Yeah, definitely. And it turned out so great, right? They now have a
Yeah.
world champion in the family. Like, it's
Yeah.
insane. And, have they been like fully funding your entire badminton journey? Because I know for all the other badminton athletes, they're, especially in America, right? Everybody's funding for
Yeah.
themselves.
Up until recently, they've been funding me pretty much the whole time. And then recently I found a few sponsors to help me out. Badminton Gold Quest has been very supportive of me, which has been nice.
Yeah, definitely. A shout out to Badminton Gold Quest because I feel like every athlete has mentioned them and the help that they've provided, right?
Yeah.
So definitely a huge shout out to them for helping out all the badminton athletes in the US. And when it comes to your condition, right, on the court, I imagine you will have to play a little differently, right, compared to like able-bodied people.
Yeah.
So were there skills that you had to develop because of your height?
Yeah. So I had to increase my like stamina along with my power just so I could hit it from end to end pretty much. And like the different strategies are that you kind of have to think about where you're going to hit to give you time to actually get back. And it's like if you play a cross drop, you have to gauge the speed and like where they're at to make sure that they can't just go play a net drop real quick and you have to scramble and dive for it or something. So it's a bit different from able-bodied badminton, I feel.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was watching some of your games and it's insane. Like, I feel like it's significantly harder almost like on the court for you
Yeah,
to go moving across the court, right? And I saw you
yeah,
like, especially that one, I saw this one point in the Olympics against your doubles partner,
yeah.
right? In the semifinals. And that last point where you were diving all over the place, and we're going to have you review it in a second. But
Alright.
that whole rally was insane, right? You're diving, trying to get the shot. Like it was absolutely insane. And the stamina you have to be able to do that, right?
Yeah. Thanks to Clutch Fitness and Frisco Badminton for making me do all these fitness drills and these workouts that increase my fitness. I wouldn't have been able to do it without them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that speaks to your work ethic too, because those workouts often are the most tiring, right?
Yeah,
For anybody to do. So definitely a huge shout out to you. And you have played all three events throughout your career, right? You got the silver medal for the men's doubles, right, in the World
mixed
Championships
doubles. Oh, yeah,
for
silver
World
and
Championships.
yeah, World Championships men's
Yep.
doubles.
When you were just 17 years old, right?
Yep,
And then the one you mentioned, which is the silver in mix for Olympics, right? In the
yep.
2024 Olympics. And then now you have the men's singles title for the World Championships, right? So you've played all three events at the highest level. And I'm curious to know which one has been your favorite to play.
Uh, I would say singles is my favorite just because it's me against myself pretty much, along with me against the opponent. I don't have to worry about a partner or anything. So I feel like it's only myself to blame. And it kind of makes me push myself even harder to do the best that I can. So I feel like that's the most fun to play and most intriguing because it's also, I get to play the full court, which is always fun to do.
Do you enjoy diving on the course? I feel like you get like this type of energy when
Yeah,
you.
if I win the point, then I like diving. But if I
Mhm.
lose a point, then it's kind of like I just wasted a little too much energy doing that. But
That's
I
true.
feel that diving is part of my game just because I can't reach it in a lunge sometimes. So I have to
Right.
dive and lift it out to give myself time to get up and keep the rally going.
Yeah, for sure. But also diving just makes the game more entertaining, right? Whether it be
Yeah,
para badminton or just regular badminton, like everybody loves it when the athlete diving on the court, getting up, diving again.
yeah,
And I think that just brings more eyes to the sport in general,
yeah.
right?
I feel SH6 is the most fun pair badminton event to watch just because there's so many dives, so many long rallies that get the crowd like entertained and hyped for the match.
Yeah, definitely. And no like shade to the other sports, but I totally agree. Like we might be a little
Yeah,
biased, but no, I agree because like I feel like for badminton as a sport, whether you're able-bodied or like you have a condition, right? Like it's a sport that everybody can play at a high level no matter what,
yeah.
right? And watching you guys play like on the court is absolutely so entertaining and so fun to
Thank you.
watch. And I hope like more people after watching this podcast and this episode, they're gonna go and watch those games because they're truly just really, really fun to watch. And I think you will
Yeah.
have a great time, right, going to those events. And we talked about, the different events you played, doubles, mix. How did you meet your partners? Like for your mixed
Uh,
doubles partner from America and then also your doubles
yeah,
partner from
so
Brazil.
my mixed doubles partner, we met her in 2015, 2016, I want to say. And she was athletic. So we recruited her to play badminton because we needed more pair athletes. So doing that, we kind of recruited her to play. She played first tournament end of 2018. And like we met her at the DAAA that I was talking about, the Dwarf Athletic Association of America, since they host like for 1 week, they host different sports every day, like basketball, volleyball, badminton, soccer, all those different sports. And she was athletic, so we recruited her to play. And then just kind of we started partnering in 2022 and kind of took off from there. And my men's doubles partner, he was the only one from uh, the Pan Am region that was going consistently to the same tournaments that I was going to. So we decided to play men's doubles together just to get a few more matches in and just kind of took off from there. I think we started playing in 2018 or yeah, 2018 we started playing because then we won bronze in 2019 World Championships.
Right. Yeah, that's crazy because like I know Vitor, like I've seen some of his games, like he's insane. The guy's really good, and
Yeah,
especially for doubles too, right? So he's
yeah.
definitely stands out as one of the strong players. And you talk about meeting JC at the event, right? So was she playing a different sport at the time?
For her school, she was playing soccer and basketball. But in the Paralympics, for us dwarfs, there's only powerlifting, swimming, a few track and field events, and then table tennis, and now badminton. So there's not that many events to do. But she wasn't playing any of those other events.
I see, I see. So you guys were able to recruit her and get her on the badminton lane, right? And
Yep.
is there like a recruitment path for like people who have dwarfism?
We kind of just go to the DAAA events to recruit people, but right now it's kind of just reach out to me or my dad to if you're interested, and we'll like set you up with coaches that are near you.
I see. How many people are currently like under the program?
Para badminton in the US right now, we used to
Yeah,
have probably close to 10 athletes. We had one wheelchair, two SL4 players, and then 5 or 6 SH6 players, but right now it's only uh two active players. And then
I see.
last year it was just me playing, and then JC went to World Championships this year after her injury. But
I see.
so right now, two, I'll say,
I see. So it's definitely still in the process of growing, right?
yeah,
Yeah, for sure. And for anybody who's watching this that has, dwarfism or any kind of condition or, disability, definitely reach out to Miles because I think badminton is such a good sport for anybody to try out
yeah,
and, definitely fun to play. So,
yeah. Or there's one other guy also, Joshua Huang he trains at Synergy. He's SU5.
huh,
Yeah, he's come out and trained with me a few times. He's a great athlete also.
wow. And can you explain like what does that mean? Like you mentioned like SU5?
Yeah, so there's two wheelchair classifications. It depends on where you're paralyzed at or if you have ab strength or not. And then there's two standing lower limbs, which is SL3, SL4. SL3, they only play half court because they can't move as well. And then SL4, they still have a leg impairment, but they're able to cover the full court. And
Mhm.
then SU5 is standing upper. So like they're missing an arm or they can't use one of their arms correctly because it throws off the balance. And then SH6 is short stature.
I see, I see. So I wonder, like, if you have these different categories, like so many different categories, does it make it so that like each category might have like a limited amount of people?
Not really. So like yes and no. So you just have to meet the requirements of that classification class. Otherwise, if you're trying to make it into SL3, but they think you're more mobile than that, they'll put you in the SL4. And
Mm,
then same with the SU5, depending on how bad your arm impairment is, then they'll either say you're in the class or not in the class.
I see, got it.
And
I think it's
then
just more just to. Oh, go ahead.
and then SH6, they just take your height measurements and then see if you're able to do it or not.
I see, got it. Yeah, I think it's just to create a fair competition ground, right, for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. And, I do want to go back to some of the achievements that you've had throughout the years. In 2022, at just 17 years old, right, you won a silver medal at the Para World Championships for men's doubles. What was that experience like for you?
It was awesome just because I lost in 3 sets in the round of 16 for singles, so I was kind of upset. Then playing men's doubles, it was a lot of fun to play next to Vitor and getting that medal. We lost in 3, but it was so much fun to play that finals and just know that I finally have reached that competitiveness stage of being with the top players in the world.
Yeah, definitely. And, Vitor was, I believe he's 6 years older than you,
Yeah,
right?
I think around 6 years older than
Right.
me.
Right. So at the time when you were 17, he was already, well into his 20s, right? So did he act like almost like a mentor sometimes to you to help
Yeah,
you go through
he
some
was
things?
definitely a mentor, relaxing me and helping my game out on the court.
For sure, definitely. Yeah, I imagine because like he has more experience, right? Just
Yeah,
being an athlete. And helping you go through these mindset changes. So what do you think like has been the biggest challenge mindset wise playing as an athlete?
The biggest challenge I feel has just been believing in myself because I started at such a young age at the international level, playing my first international tournament as a 10-year-old. I feel that the biggest challenge was gaining confidence that I was in the top 10 in the world or top 5 in the world, if you want to say. And I think the biggest confidence booster has been winning those world championship medals along with winning the Pan Am games and Pan Am championships. And then also Paris, I feel those have been the biggest confidence boosters.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we talked about this like very similar topic with other badminton players, and they mentioned the same thing. It's all about having those breakthrough achievements, right? Once you
Yeah.
start having those breakthrough achievements, then you start building that confidence on the world stage, right? And, you know, talking about achievements, you were so close to the Tokyo Olympics, right? Like we mentioned before, like you won the second place for World Championships in 2022. So you would expect like, okay, I should be able to make it to the Tokyo Olympics, right? But you just missed it by one spot. So was there like a
Yeah.
tournament? Was there one tournament where it determined the outcome for the qualifications?
Yeah. So 2020 was the first year that they had pair badminton in the Paralympics, and it was only 6 SH6 athletes that were able to go. So they took the top 5 in the world from different nations, and then the number 6 was bipartite, which was a committee chose who they think would be the next best person there. And so I was ranked number 7 at the time, and I lost in 3 sets to Charles Noakes at the last
Oh,
tournament. But COVID happened. It was about a week before I was supposed to leave for the final tournament of qualification that they shut it down, and then everything shut down for COVID. So I took about 2 months off of training and then started training again. And they held the last qualifying tournament in March of 2021 before the Tokyo Olympics and Paralympics. And so then I was in the round of 16 against Charles Noakes, and I ended up losing in 3 sets, with the final set being, I think I was up like 15-10, and then I lost 21-17 or 21-19 from there. So it was a bit heartbreaking that I think that if I would have won that match, I would have had a lot better shot of qualifying for Tokyo. So that kind of was the make or break tournament, I feel. And then the bipartite commission ended up choosing a second guy from England who went on to win bronze, which was pretty awesome that he was the last chosen, and he got bronze at the tournament.
wow, that is pretty amazing. That means they made a good choice, right, on the player
Yeah.
picking. Yeah. But did you know going into that game against Charles, like you knew this would be a big determining factor?
I had a little idea of it, but I was more focused on the match at the time. So I wasn't thinking about that. But I think that if I was thinking about that, I might have played a little bit better. But Charles was just such a good player that it was a tough loss.
Yeah, yeah. And how did it feel, days after the loss?
We still had hope that the bipartite commission would choose me,
Mm.
because if I would have made quarterfinals, I still wouldn't have been number 5 in the world. So we were still relying on the bipartite. So I feel that it would have helped my case a little bit more, but in the end, it's the bipartite commission's choice. So we were just praying that it was going to be me. And then I think June 22nd, or no, it was like July 12th, they found out, or we found out that I didn't qualify, which was devastating. I played like one more day after that, and then took about a year and a half off to just be a kid, because it was my sophomore year summer of high school going into my junior year. So my parents and I decided to let me have a summer as a kid, like a teenager. So I took from July until August of 2022 off. So yeah, 13 months off of training.
Wow.
And then September was World Championships, or no, November was World Championships. So I only trained 9 weekends before that World Championships to go and compete.
Wow, that's crazy. I mean, that's a long time to take off, right?
Yeah.
Like, how did you feel trying to get back? Because I imagine, like, just for anybody, it's very difficult.
Yeah, it felt good to be back just because I took so long off. But it was a bit, had to put in a little bit of extra work to get into the right condition to play at such a high
Yeah.
level.
Yeah, definitely. I imagine like your body starts like kind of going back like into like a normal kind of person muscle build,
Yeah,
right? And then you kind of lose some of the fast twitch muscles and like you got to rebuild that, which is quite difficult, right?
yeah.
Going through that training. And but despite the upset, for the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, you made it confidently in the 2024 Paris Paralympics, right? How did it feel when you found out you were finally going to your first Olympics?
It was awesome. I received the text from one of my friends in Canada in, I think, end of March, beginning of April, but it wasn't a for sure yet until April 22nd. So like me and my dad and the Canadian all did the math to see if
Mhm.
we actually made it in or not. Because it was just by a hair that we made it in. And because how our qualification works, it was from January 2023 until March of 2024. And
Um,
so after 52 weeks, tournament points are cut in half. And so the Spain tournaments from 2023 were cut in half. And the Peru pair did real well at those two tournaments, but those tournaments had to be cut in half. So
mm,
we ended up passing them because we didn't have Spain points counting and they did. So it put us about 200 points in front of them, which
wow.
is like winning your group or not, pretty much. So we ended
Yeah.
up passing them, and we didn't know if it was a for sure yet, if the BWF was gonna like retract that rule, or if it was because it was already in writing that it was gonna be us, pretty much. We didn't know if
Mhm.
they were gonna take out that rule because there would be so much controversy, and so we didn't announce it until April 2022, and so we ended up making it, which was amazing and incredible. And I found out in biology class, I was like so excited, but I had to hide that emotion because it wasn't a for sure yet.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it sounds super close, and like it almost feels like you were back in the same spot again, like 4 years later, right? Because
Yeah,
your fate is in somebody else's hand again,
yeah,
and depending on like the rule change, right? So it's almost like deja vu, right?
yeah.
Yeah. But this time it ended differently because you made it to the 2024 Paralympics, and I do wonder, did it meet your expectations?
Yeah, it blew my expectations out of the water. Like, I was expecting it to be pretty cool, but then like the entire stadium being filled, like never playing in front of that many people before was awesome. And then also just the entire Paralympic village was awesome. And then also Team USA sponsoring us with so much gear and everything, that was incredible.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a different environment, right? Like you played on some big stages, like World Championships, the Pan Am Games, but this is the Olympics, right?
Yeah.
And it's a whole new game. What did it feel like being surrounded by some of the best athletes in the para world? Like knowing that everyone there had to face their own challenges, right? And still
Yeah.
chose to pursue excellence at the highest level.
It was awesome and showed that we deserve to be there. I deserve to be there alongside the best people in the world. And then it went to show in my singles match, especially beating a former Tokyo gold medalist in straight sets, 16 and 18. It really showed that I did belong there. And then going 3 sets with Vitor in the quarterfinals, and I ended up losing 23-21 in the third. It really showed that I deserve to be there. And then mixed doubles in silver, it showed that we belong there.
Yeah, definitely. And I wanted to ask you about that too, because you had that huge upset against, I believe his name is
Yeah,
Nagar from India, which was the
yeah,
previous 2020 Tokyo champion. So how did that upset feel when I saw the emotion on your face when you were celebrating? But how did it feel?
yeah. It felt amazing just because I beat him once previously in 3 sets, and then going out there and competing against him, knowing that I'm the underdog, kind of gave me that extra boost of motivation to beat him. And knowing that because I already lost to the Thai guy in group play in
Mhm.
straight sets, I knew that I needed to beat Krishna in two. So I went out there, played to the best of my ability, had two great coaches behind me, and they really helped me beat him, which was amazing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that was a crazy match, right? And talking about crazy matches and match points, right? You played your doubles partner from Brazil, right, Vitor, in the semifinals. right? So this was it, right? If you win, you go into the finals. And the
It was
last,
quarterfinals, actually.
oh, it was quarterfinals.
Yeah. So it was
Okay.
even a bigger match, I feel, than semis.
But definitely, yeah, because you need you'll get the medal, right? If you win.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. So the stakes are high for that game, right? And you can tell how much you wanted it from that last rally, right? Because everybody, like, whether you watch badminton or not, everybody was going crazy for that last rally because it was iconic, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you the rally again, okay, on YouTube, and I just want to see your live reaction from it. Okay,
All
watching it
right.
after all these years.
An unbelievable match point. Vito Tavares.
Yeah, it's still not hard to watch, but I still think to myself that I should have won that point. I didn't play the right shots during it. I dove too much, and then I played it right to his hand instead of making him run. It's heartbreaking, but at the same time, it was such a great match to play, I feel.
Yeah, definitely. And you see the desperation on the young
Yeah.
Miles's face and body language, right? Like you wanted it so bad, right? And you were trying
Yeah.
so hard. And I agree. Like I think some of the returns, like especially towards the last few dives, started like going lower in quality because obviously, I mean, you're diving so much, you're putting a lot of strain on
Yeah.
your body. But overall, the whole rally was just so intense, right?
Yeah.
And you hear the crowd reacting to it too. The crowd was going crazy for it every single time you dove for the shot. And even like the announcer was like just is an amazing, amazing
Yeah.
rally. And yeah, and you know, despite not being able to medal for the singles, you brought so much attention to the sport, right? From that one rally. And it just shows how significant the impact that you're making for badminton, right? But despite losing the singles, right? You made it to the finals for mixed doubles, right? How did it feel when you first realized, like, oh, I medaled for the Olympics?
It was pretty awesome just because our semifinals, we lost the first set. So we were like, oh no, we need to win these next two sets to have a chance at winning a medal or like making the finals. And so we ended up winning the second set pretty handily, maybe 14 or 15. And then the final set, we came out blazing and we were up pretty big at interval, maybe 11-7. And just from there, we took off to 2013. And I remember 2013, I served to Nynthia. She lifted about maybe a foot out, and just seeing it come up, I'm watching, already knowing that it's going out. And as soon as it landed, I couldn't help but be excited and just threw my racket down, screamed, and hugged my partner, hugged my coaches, just because it was a milestone for Team USA and US badminton. So it meant a lot to make the finals and then compete against China and play. We didn't play the best that we could have played, but we played all right. Maybe losing, I think 15 and 13, we lost the final, but they were such a strong pair and such good players that it was hard to compete with them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, being able to medal, and this is your first Paralympics, right? And you
Yeah.
fulfilled your dream of going there and you medaled, right, in the top two. So it was such a significant achievement. And, you know, you talk about the Chinese pair, like they're definitely super strong. Like even now, they're the top like people on the stage, on the world stage,
Yeah.
right? For doubles and mixed. So they're definitely a super strong pair, but you guys were able to show out like on that
Yeah.
Olympics. And you and JC played a good game too. Because you guys play so well together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have really good chemistry. And I do wonder, how did you guys prepare though for the finals match? Were you guys going for that gold medal?
Yeah, we were going for that gold medal. I knew the job wasn't finished yet, so I went back to the village, got a good night rest, ran in the morning, and then prepared like I normally do, as it was just another match. I'm not quite sure how she prepared for it, but I knew that I needed to go out there and perform to the best of my ability to try to win a gold.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And did you feel the pressure anytime, like throughout the Paralympics? Like, was it different compared to the World Championships?
Yeah, I really felt the pressure during some of my singles matches and then also during the semifinals of the mixed doubles match. Finals, there wasn't too much pressure because we were the underdogs and we already had a medal secured. So we knew we just needed to play the best that we could, hopefully get gold, but if not, then we got silver, which is still a remarkable milestone.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And we talk about the matches for 2024 Paralympics, but one of the most significant events throughout the Olympics is the opening ceremony, right? And
Yeah.
looking back at walking out with the team, what was going through your mind?
Unfortunately, we weren't able to attend the opening ceremony because we had a match the next day at 9 a.m. So
Oh,
we watched it on TV in the Athlete Resource Center, which has like food and people there to help you, physios, cold plunges, all that good stuff. And we watched it with many other athletes in there, and it was cool to witness it with other athletes just like watching it. I feel like it would have been even more incredible to be there in person.
yeah, for sure. I mean, did you guys have the option to go, but you guys chose to just like prepare for the
Yeah,
games?
we had the option to go, and I chose not to go because I knew that we needed to perform the next day.
I see, I see. That's great. I mean, that's a very mature move, right? Just to, prepare for the game because obviously you're there to win, right?
Yeah,
Opening ceremony is always nice, but getting a medal is even better, right?
yeah,
And you were able to achieve that. You got onto the podium as the silver medal, right? Winning the silver medal. So, what did it feel like stepping onto the podium for the Paralympics and receiving the medal?
it felt awesome just to know that it wasn't just my medal that I achieved on my own, but it was like my parents, all my coaches that have helped me, Coach Paula, who was my first ever coach, and then Bob Erickson, who really helped me get into badminton. He was the president of Top Flight Badminton Club, which was in Omaha at the time. And then after Coach Paula, I started training with Coach Moss, which helped me achieve making it to the Paralympics. I trained with him from 2019 to 2024. And then the 3 months before Paris, I was invited to come down here to Frisco Badminton Academy and train with Coach Abhishek, Coach Della, Coach Hannibal, and many other coaches. So it was amazing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you couldn't have done it without this support team,
Yeah,
right? Everybody putting in the work to help you get to that point, and that's awesome. And you're very special to have that kind of support around you, right?
yeah.
And I do wonder, how did your parents react to winning the medal at the Paralympics?
My dad was stoked. After our semifinals match, I went up to the crowd to find, like, after we walked out and everything, I went to find him, hugged him. We both cried. So it was amazing. And then my mom was unfortunately not able to attend. So I FaceTimed her right after, and she was also crying with joy. So it meant a lot to know that I had such supportive parents. And then also my siblings just calling me and telling me, amazing job. We're proud of you. It was truly amazing to see that kind of support and have that kind of support from both my siblings and parents.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm sure they're super proud of everything that you achieved, right? No matter what. And, we talked about you placing second, right? Before at the World Championships when you were young. But, now you are the reigning world champion, right? After winning the 2026 World Championships. So were you prepared, like specifically to go for the gold that tournament?
Yeah, just because I had a great showing at the past few tournaments. I won Pan Ams. I unfortunately lost quarterfinals of the Indonesia tournament to Krishna Nagar in 3 sets. And then I ended up getting second at the Japan tournament, again, losing to Krishna Nagar because they were all back to back to back tournaments. So knowing that I just competed well. And then after that, I took like a week or two break to visit family. And then after that, the grind really started for world championships, and training alongside able-bodied athletes and competing with them kind of gave me the confidence that I was able to compete with all the H6 players and go for gold. That was really the only thing I had my eyes on. And then losing in group play to China kind of upset me and kind of reset what I was thinking, that I just need to take one step at a time, one match at a time, and play from there. And then after that, drawing Vitor in the round of 16, winning that pretty handily, and then Korea in the quarterfinals, winning that handily, and then knowing that I had to play Krishna again in the semifinals I wanted my revenge there, and I played out of my mind in that match. I think I beat him 21-18, 21-14 or something like that. And then finals, I knew I was there already, and my coaches just told me to go out, have fun because we already went over the game plan like 3 times before the match. So at the start of the match, they were just like, go out, have fun. You earn this. And it was against the Thailand guy who's won all 4 of the tournaments that he played last year. They were all high level tournaments. And then knowing that he's 2 years younger than me, knowing that we are soon to be the face of pair badminton, like we're the next generation of pair badminton, meant a lot to share the finals with him. And he's such a great athlete. And playing that match, I was always down. And in the first set, I was down 19-17. So I just wanted to take 1 point at a time. Ended up winning 21-19. And second set, I was down 17-12. Came back to 16-17, and then was down 17-20. And at that point, I was just preparing for the third set. I was like, just play 1 point at a time, tire him out a little bit, and just reset for the third. And then as I know it, I won the next point, 18-20. I'm like, okay, this might be possible. 19-20. Okay, this is real possible. And then 20-all, I'm like, I could actually win this in 2 sets, and that'd be awesome. And then 21-20, and then 21-20, we had a long rally, super long, and then I push him to his backhand. He frames it, and at that moment, I knew that I was the world champion. It was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, listening to you describe it is absolutely insane, right? And I wanted to ask you about the semifinal and the finals, right? Because they're both super significant matches.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, like Krishna Nagar, like he was a force, right? Like,
Yeah.
Especially for you, like when you played against him in 2025, most of the time you lost to him, right?
Yeah.
Because he always was up there. And so I was wondering, like, did you prepare differently for that match specifically, knowing the history you had with him?
Yeah, I prepared a little differently, but it was still focusing on what I've been training and what I know I'm capable of. So during that match, my coaches, the coach that was behind me was Coach Anibal, and he was just telling me, like, changing the game plan to figure out what was best at the time. And then also before the match, Coach Panji and Coach Abhishek texted me, telling me what they thought that I needed to do. And all 3 of those coaches discussed what would be the best plan to go out there and do. And it worked. And when it didn't work, we adjusted accordingly, and it turned out real well.
Yeah, I think the game plan was really solid, right, for you. And you talked about like the different mindset changes throughout the tournament, which I think is super important, right? Because of course your performance has to be backed by training, right? The amount of training that you do, the quality of it, that's the base, right? But then comes the mindset. Because if you go into that tournament thinking like, I have high expectations, I should be winning this game, then the results might be completely different.
Yeah.
But you were able to get that mindset shift after playing the Chinese pair in the group, right?
Yeah.
And knowing, okay, let me just take it one step at a time and like be patient, right? And just kind of take it one match at a time. And because I feel like because of that mindset shift, it helped you a lot. Right?
Yeah.
Really be able to perform and show everything that you've built up during training. Would you agree?
Yeah. Yeah. That mind shift, because I don't know if it was as much I'm going to win this tournament. I was more nervous about playing the Chinese because I haven't played him in such a long time. And I knew he was a good athlete. I came into the match being like, I'm the seeded player. I need to win this instead of just playing the match as it comes. I think that's what really affected me. And that's why I didn't play well against him. I was making too many mistakes, too many errors, and wasn't sticking to the game plan that we originally thought of. And so then after that, it kind of really shifted my focus to 1 point at a time. And that ended up helping me in the long run.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you made it all the way to the finals, like you mentioned, right? You faced Natapon Michai, right, from Thailand, which, like you mentioned, is a strong player, right? Like part of the next generation is coming up with you, right? So Did you feel confident going into that match?
I wouldn't say confidence going into the finals. I knew I was there for a reason and that it was going to be a tough battle to beat him. So I came in confident with everything that I had in my arsenal, if you want to say, or everything that I've trained for. But I knew that me and him are neck and neck. So it was more of who would last longer, who would play smarter, and who was going to have the better day. And that turned out to be me, which I'm thankful for. And it could, in reality, I think it could have gone either way just because he was leading both sets. But I pulled through and won, which was incredible. But you have to give him applause for putting up such a great fight and being such a great player.
Yeah, definitely. I think there'll be many, many more intense matches between you two
Yeah.
in the upcoming years, right? Because I think you two are definitely the top right now going at it. And yeah, so now you are the world champion, right? And you also made some recent moves. You moved to Texas from South Dakota. So what prompted that move? And did you feel like comfortable switching coaches after having so much success?
Yeah. So I was with Coach Moss for 5 years. And before Paris, we started training in Frisco just so we could get full-time training. Because originally I was just doing 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. in the morning and then 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. in the evening with Coach Moss because he had a full-time job and also family. And so after Paris, it was kind of, he kind of wanted to retire to focus more on his family because his daughters were getting older, have more time with them. And then also work was becoming busier. And he wanted me to get full-time training. So it was kind of in what was best in mind. So I'm very thankful for him for getting me to where I was. And then deciding to move down here full time was probably the best thing that's happened to me, being able to train 30 hours a week along with doing school online. That's what's really helped me take the next step in competing.
Yeah, definitely. I think him being able to take you to where you were, right, was an absolute great achievement for both of you, right? And I
Yeah.
feel like he should open up his own gym, like
Yeah.
like really, like
Yeah.
because he was so accomplished as a coach, right? Being able to bring a player to that level. But we've talked about all of these different people in your life, right, that support you, that helped you along the way, and of course yourself, your own work ethic, and everything that brought you to where you are now. But I do wonder, what are you most grateful for?
I'm most grateful for like everything. I'm grateful that my parents have supported me throughout this 10-year career so far. And then also all the great coaches, all the sponsors. Badminton Gold Quest has been probably the biggest sponsor. And then also Masaba, they've helped me along with Yankton Medical Clinic, my aunt's boutique shop supporting me with custom made shirts and all that stuff. And then Yonex USA has been helping me with all my gear and everything.
Yeah, definitely. I think the most important thing is being grateful for the people that have surrounded you and supported you throughout, the journey, right? Because ultimately
Yeah.
it was a whole team effort, and
Yeah. And then,
couldn't have done it without anybody.
yeah, Frisco Badminton Academy has really helped me, allowing me to train full time. And then Coach Ponji, Coach Jalza, Coach Nisa, Coach Anibal, Coach Abhishek, Coach Stella, and then also the owners, Carrie Reddy and Sid. They've both been such great people to me and so supportive that they've really put what's best in mind to help me succeed. They've all been such great people.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, shout out to Frisco Badminton because like
Yeah.
they're becoming like the hub now, the new hub for professional badminton players. And I'm so happy to see that there's this place for like specifically for these professional badminton players to develop and not have to worry about so much on the training and the regiment, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, definitely a huge shout out to them for providing these services and huge help for the badminton community. But what impact do you hope your career has on the younger athletes that are watching you now?
I hope that like the impact I've created is that no matter what sport they're wanting to play, as long as they put a goal in mind and work hard for it, that hopefully they're able to achieve it. And then hopefully build pair badminton here in the USA and kind of have a legacy of pair badminton after me, just hopefully more medals to come. And even if they're different classifications, just grow the sport and just because it's such an amazing sport. And hopefully just grow it.
Yeah, for sure. What advice would you give to people who maybe have dwarfism or just any other condition that they're dealing with, who feels limited by the circumstance, but they want to be an athlete?
For me personally, I feel that disability is just a word. Like, as long as you don't think about it that way and think about it like overcoming obstacles as like the easy part and just putting your mind towards something that you want to do, then you're able to do it. So if you're in a wheelchair and you want to play wheelchair tennis or para badminton, go try it. And if you enjoy it, keep focusing on it, or whatever the sport is and whatever the circumstances are, put the full effort into it and try it. Just go out and try different things. That's the main thing.
That's amazing. Really, really good advice. And I think, people who are listening, it's really important to just go out and try things like Miles said, right? Because there's so many great opportunities out there, whether it be badminton, tennis, any other sport, so many out there for you to explore. And that's the exciting part about life, right? And,
Yeah.
but specifically on para badminton, what do you wish people understood more about para badminton?
It's not different badminton. It's badminton in our own way. We've developed our game styles to help us on the court and allow us to compete to the full ability. And I think it's just as entertaining as able-bodied badminton, if not more entertaining than able-bodied badminton.
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree with that. Hey, like we need to start promoting para badminton because it is really entertaining to watch. But obviously badminton right now, whether it be para badminton or just able-bodied badminton, people in America view it as still like a backyard barbecue sport,
Yeah.
right? Which kind of like pisses me off sometimes because like
Yeah.
it's technically impossible to play badminton outdoors because like the
Yeah.
wind is blowing and everything. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't even make sense, right? So how do you think we can start changing people's mindset in the US that badminton is not just a backyard barbecue sport?
Just more publicity, I think. Get more publicity out, and then also have more, not showings, but more events that promote the sport. Like whether it be a free drop-in day at clubs and stuff to get people's attention to come and try the sport. I think that would be what's best.
That's a really good idea, actually. Never thought of that. But hey, if any club owners are watching, I think that's a really great idea that Miles just proposed, like having just a free drop-in day, maybe once a month, and having people come and just try the sport and, put it on like, what's it called? Like Eventbrite or something.
Yeah, something
And
like
just
that.
like, yeah, where like people can see the sport and come have the opportunity to come try it first, right? I think that's really great. But as we're wrapping this episode up, what do you want people to remember when they hear the name Miles Krajewski years from now?
I don't even know, because I still think of myself as just a guy, not a world champ or anything. But I think when people hear my name, I hope they see or they remember kind of a legacy of para badminton and just badminton in general in the US. I've kind of put USA on the map for badminton, winning all these medals and everything. So hopefully I built kind of a legacy in the future.
Yeah, definitely. And I think you already started that. Like you put USA on the map for badminton. And I don't think people see the significance yet, but they're going to feel it for sure, once they start getting out. And, as we're wrapping this up, let's get into some fun questions, right?
All right.
That way we get to learn about you a little more. And yeah, so what does a perfect day off look like for you?
A perfect day off is if I'm back home with my buddies out on the jet skis on the lake. That's probably the best day out there, is just hanging out with the bros on the jet skis. Nothing better you can ask for.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, damn, you get a lot of outdoor activity in, like way more than I do. Like you're doing jet skis, you're doing skiing and all these snow activities and everything. Like
Yeah.
that's awesome. It sounds amazing. Do you guys have like a lake near your house in South Dakota?
Yeah, there's a lake. We're right on the Missouri River, and we have the last dam on the Missouri River, so it's created this giant lake pretty much. So you just go out there, go boating or jet skiing, and just hang out on the lake, which is awesome. And then we got 2 ski hills or 2 ski resorts. One that's like a beginner ski resort that's only an hour away, and then one that's more advanced that's about 6-hour drive. So it's fun in the wintertime to go out there and ski.
I see. I mean, as an athlete though, like do you ever like think, okay, maybe I shouldn't do it just in case if I get hurt or injured?
Sometimes jet skiing, I don't really think of that because if I fall off, I just go in the water. But
Right.
then I haven't really jet skied or gone winter skiing recently just because of the injury side.
Yeah, definitely. That was one thing too. Like I feel like every athlete, like whenever, especially skiing for some reason, like
Yeah,
that's like one thing where you're gonna fall and you might get hurt pretty bad. Right?
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Next one. Okay, so what's something fans will be surprised to learn about you?
I got siblings that are triplets that are also all state champions.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, what do they do? What sport?
Tennis. They're state champions in tennis.
All three
And
of
then,
them for tennis.
yeah. And then, so my older sister, she's a state champion in tennis. And then me, I'm a team state champion in tennis. I got second a bunch of times, which I wish I would have won those matches, but oh well. And then my
Mhm.
three siblings, Nora, are the triplets. It's 2 girls, 1 boy. Nora's won singles state champion and then double state champion 2 times. And then Sabrina's won double state champion twice. And then Harrison, which is the last of the triplets, he's won as a state champion in tennis like 5 or 6 times, I think now. And then my youngest brother, he's just started varsity tennis. So hopefully he gets a state championship title also.
Wow. Number one, that's a huge family. And also like
Yeah.
everybody's so athletic.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, what was it like growing up with triplets? Is it different? Do they have like a connection or anything like that?
Yeah, they don't always favor each other, but they have that kind of special connection that me and my siblings don't get with them. But it's also pretty incredible to have such a big family just because, especially sports wise, we always had somebody to play a different sport with. So we were always active doing something.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they can be state champions, but you are a world champion now, right? You really showed them after winning the world
Yeah.
championships. Yep. Okay, great. Next one. If you could eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Probably, oh, probably some barbecue wings. I love wings.
Oh yeah.
Wings or
What's your
pasta carbonara.
Okay. I mean, in Texas, they must have some good barbecue wings.
Yeah. I would say favorite flavor is probably honey barbecue or just hot honey.
Oh, okay.
It's,
Wow, that's great. I mean, have you had the Texas barbecue yet?
yeah, I've splurged on some barbecue before. It's so good. The jalapeno cheddar sausage, the baby back ribs, the pulled pork, brisket, all of it. So good.
Oh my God. I mean, if you love barbecue, Texas is a place to be now.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, that's awesome. I gotta try it. I haven't had it yet, but next time I go to Texas, I gotta try it. For sure. All
Hutchins
right.
Barbecue, that's the place you gotta try.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I thought the place to go to in Texas was like, I think it's called Frank. What's it
Oh,
called?
I don't know. The place I go to is Hutchins, and it's so good.
Okay, okay. I'll give it a try next time I go for sure.
All right.
I'll hit you up next time I go. We can go together, get some
All
barbecue.
right.
There you go. Perfect. All right. Next one. What is your favorite training drill?
Favorite training drill? Probably one corner. Even though I don't like it sometimes, I enjoy it a lot to just focus on getting 20 to 40 shot rallies of hitting the one corner where they're pushing me to all 4 corners. I think that one's the most fun.
Really? That's your favorite drill? I feel like for a lot of players, that's like the most tiring and the least favorite drill you could possibly do.
Yeah, it's fun though. Or I would say multi-shuttle feeding where it's like all 6 corners, the back, the side, and the front. I think that one's also fun.
Okay, so you like covering more ground in
Yeah.
training. I see. And do you get to dive in training? Like that's something you practice?
No, I don't practice. It kind of comes natural to me.
I see. I see. Got it. Got it. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, last one for this. If you weren't doing badminton, what would you do?
I'd be in school still. Well, I still am in school, but I'd be doing school and then golfing 24/7. I'm a very
Golf?
avid golfer. Yeah.
Wow. I thought you were gonna say like tennis or something since you played before.
No, I enjoy tennis, but I love golfing. It's relaxing and fun.
Great, great. Awesome, awesome. Perfect. Okay. But yeah, that is the end of the fun question. We do have one last question left for this episode. Because obviously you've won so many achievements, covering almost basically all of them now, right? Because you got the World Championships title, you got the Pan Am title, but now you're missing one thing, right? You're missing the Paralympics gold medal, and there's one coming up on home ground in 2028, right? What can fans expect from you heading into those games?
They can expect me to be in top shape, top competing form, and hopefully me winning that gold medal on home soil. It will be a great showing of us athletes, and hopefully we get a great showing of people in the stands. I think it's going to be one for the ages to watch.
Yeah, definitely. And for anybody that's watching, make sure you buy the tickets now for the Paralympics badminton, because it's going to be a hell of a match. I guarantee it. Definitely incredibly entertaining. And we got to go and cheer Miles on, because I feel like if once you win that gold medal, badminton will be a different world in the US.
Hopefully.
It's going to blow up.
That's the goal.
Yeah, for sure. I think you'll make a huge impact when that happens. And I'm sure we're going to see something amazing when it comes to that. But yeah, that is the end of the podcast today. Thank you so much, Miles, for coming on and giving us your time.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And we're looking forward to seeing all your great achievements in the upcoming years. But yeah, that is the end of the podcast, everybody. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click that like button and the subscribe button down below. Show us support for the channel. It's greatly appreciated. Also, make sure to follow us on our socials at the TLZ Podcast to stay up to date on upcoming guests and highlights. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.